Hi, I'm Catherine. Continuing our presentation on leadership. So the leadership jobs in education. There are many different positions in the education system that have leadership roles or are leadership roles. For example, teachers, principals, coaches, and superintendents. However, having those jobs do not automatically make you a leader. Some people think that just because they're in a higher position or they're in their role that they think they're a good leader when really they're not. As mentioned before, the definition of leadership is the act of guiding or leading. You want a teacher who will help you and guide you with your learning and not someone who just gives you work and expects it to be done. Think back to one of our earlier assignments where we had to look back at our past teachers. Which one stood out to you more? The teachers who were encouraging or discouraging? Sometimes the teachers we remember the most were the worst leaders. You can look back to any grade, any age that you were, from kindergarten to now in college. Any teacher that you've had that is supposed to be a leader and help you, and they haven't. Instead, they seem like they don't care, they seem distant, they seem like they don't really want to be a teacher at all, and that is not the type of teachers that we want to be, and that is not the type of teacher who is a good leader. And of course, if you were ever played on a sports team, you could also think back to your coaches on who stood out, because it is not just teachers in the education system who are leaders, coaches as well. Moving forward, how to apply leadership in a classroom. Anyone can be appointed to be a leader, but not everyone can thrive in a leadership role. A huge tip to being a leader is to be confident. Showing your students that it is okay to speak up in groups, to share ideas during a collaborative project, and even speaking up in front of the class. Giving students a chance to have a leadership role is important because it can help them find their confidence and can help them find their voice. It can also help students develop organization skills and possibly even inspire them to give back to their community through volunteering in various areas, whether that's volunteering for the homeless, for a pet shelter, at the hospital, any situation with volunteering where they have to be a leader. Giving students leadership opportunities can help them build relationships with other students and helps them learn to identify and display effective communication and interpersonal skills. Participate in leadership outside of the classroom. Leadership isn't a skill that has to stay in the classroom. There are plenty of other ways to help out. As a teacher, you can work with parents to help them keep up with their child's learning and teach them ways to help their child at home, whether that may be that their child has a learning disability where they need extra help and you can help the parent teach them skills for working on homework or any sort of technology, etc. You could also become a coach for a sport you enjoy and use your leadership skills in a different way than you would in a classroom, like team building exercises, such like that. For students, leadership roles outside the classroom could be joining a team, whether that may be sports or academic related, any program of the arts, theater, band, choir, dance, getting a part-time job, or even offering to do some peer tutoring. Students who take on leadership roles can learn key skills like patience, empathy, dependability, creativity, positivity, and many more. Moving on to the ACDE. What is it? The ACDE is the Association of Canadian Deans of Education. The ACDE developed and ratified the Accord on Initial Teacher Education, a set of pan-Canadian education initiatives grounded in shared values about teacher education, educational leadership, and educational research. The ACDC supports the 12 following principles. Demonstrates the transformative power of learning for individuals and communities. Envisions the teacher as a professional who observes, discerns, critiques, assesses, and acts accordingly. Encourages teachers to assume a social and political leadership role. Cultivates a sense of the teacher as a responsive and responsible to learners, schools, colleagues, and communities. Involves partnerships between the university and schools, interweaving theory, research, and practice, and providing opportunities for teacher candidates to collaborate with teachers to develop effective teaching practices. Promotes diversity, inclusion, understanding, acceptance, and social responsibility, and continuing dialogue with local, national, and global communities. Engages teachers with the politics of identity and difference, and prepares them to develop and enact inclusive curricula and pedagogies. Supports a research disposition and climate that recognizes a range of knowledge and perspectives. Ensures that beginning teachers understand the development of children and youth, intellectual, physical, emotional, social, creative, spiritual, moral, and the nature of learning. Ensures that beginning teachers have sound knowledge of subject matter, literacies, ways of knowing, and pedagogical expertise. Provides opportunities for candidates to investigate their practices. And last but not least, supports thoughtful, considered, and deliberate innovation to improve and strengthen the preparation of educators.